He was playing high school football a year ago. Taylor with a touchdown and the clinching two-point conversion and a field rush for the ages. And a night they'll never forget in Baton Rouge.
Brian Kelly, aggressive, and it pays off. Shows the trust that he has in his quarterback, Jayden Daniels. If you take a look at Bryce Young, who fought valiantly on a night that wasn't necessarily his best night with he and his receivers, but it comes down to Brian Kelly's call with Jayden Daniels.
And on cue, a huge fog has rolled in to Tiger Stadium. We'll see if the fog is through on the field. Holly with Brian Kelly, there's a lot to ask him.
Coach Kelly, how do you decide to go for the win in that moment?
It just felt like the right time. Our guys, they played so hard, and bit emotional. I just love the way our guys competed, and I didn't want to keep going in overtime. It just felt like it was the right time to try to win the game.
You make a great play call there. What was in your mind when you made that play call?
Wanted to get 5 on the edge. He's, you put him on the edge, good things are going to happen. Made a great decision. The 2 freshmen played so great today. Taylor made 2 big plays for us. I'm so proud of all players. And this crowd, unbelievable. They made such a difference today. Amazing.
Coach, I see the tears welling up in your eyes. That is not your personality. Why does this matter so much?
It's just to come here and restore the pride and tradition of this program just means so much. And I've been welcomed down here, and it just feels so good to return the faith and trust that they've given to me.
How does this build the trust moving forward, getting a big win like this?
Yeah, so now we got to make sure that it doesn't affect our preparation for Arkansas. We're going to enjoy this for 24 hours and get back to work and play a really good Arkansas team.
Thank you, Coach Kelly.
Thanks, Holly. Appreciate it.
Jayden, I've got you right here. Maybe the biggest run of your young life. Tell me what you did on that first zone play in overtime.
The coach called the play. I knew I had to make a play. My teammates did a great job blocking. I give all credit to God, putting me in this position. I can't be more blessed. Great block by Josh Williams, free me up. We won the game from that.
What went through your mind when Coach decided to go for it and try to win this game and not tie? What did you think when you got the play call signaled in?
Man, I wanted Coach to go for it. I just showed the trust he has in me. Game on the line, he knows I'm always step up, make a play. So I'm very appreciative of Coach for that.
It wasn't just this play, this overtime. You had to have another winning drive. 5 minutes left to play in this game. How did you have the composure down the stretch?
Yeah, that's just me. Always being cool, calm, collective. And I give all things to God. Putting me in positions like this, I'm blessed. I wouldn't change it for the world.
The fans of Brooklyn Field, people are losing their mind here. What does this win do for you and this football team to build confidence in what Coach Kelly's building?
Right. Coach Kelly knows what he's talking about. Building the confidence. We got more games to go. We're going to celebrate this one.
Thank you, Jayden.
Thank you. Both guys
my goodness, man.
Like
my goodness. What a hell of a matchup that was, man. Shout out to the fam. Man, wow, man. I mean, absolutely amazing. Shout out to the Tough Tiger Talk Nation. Big Q in the building. Whew, man, a diverse day of sports. LSU Pelicans, man, bouncing back and forth. But listen, LSU today had priority number 1 in my mind, man. This was a huge matchup in Death Valley against a hated rival. Old man Nick Saban comes dragging himself into the Death Valley looking for a win. Tigers ranked 6th in the nation. Tied at 6. Tigers ranked 10th nationally. Before the game, and LSU guts it out, and with every punch that the Crimson Tide was able to throw at LSU was able to meet them. Back and forth, the intensity of the defense, everything. But really what was big was Jayden Daniels, man. Jayden Daniels continues to show, wow, LSU is just rising up the charts, man. And really, I thought this would be like a 2-year build as the 2023 class comes in to help lift this team up to another level. But the Jayden Daniels acquisition by Coach Kelly, those two have obviously gotten on the same page. Keyshawn Butte is on the same page. The running game has arrived. The offensive line has done a pretty decent job over the last several matchups. And the defense has came alive. And all this despite the fact that we missing our best interior defensive lineman in Mason Smith. My goodness. What a big gutsy win by LSU, taking down the Tide. And this is astronomical. This is big for the Tigers and Brian Kelly. And this phrase comes to mind after he beat them. In my mind was, I came to LSU to beat Nick Saban. Well, he did it this year in this game, and this was huge. A lot of people probably anticipate them doing that. But my goodness, man, shout out to the Tigers, the Fighting Tigers, because they earned every damn yard out there on the field. Shout out to the fam. All right, so with that being said, man, let's go over the team statistics in this LSU. First downs, Alabama 25-22, 5 out of 12 on the third down for LSU versus 6 of 16 by the Tide. They were 2 of 2 on the fourth down, and 465 yards of offense for the Tide versus 367 by LSU. Yeah, and you can look at the rushing statistics. 185 rushing yards by LSU against the Tide, who had 137. LSU 34 attempts, averaging 5.4 yards per carry. They really leaned a lot on that, on the rushing game in there. And it was a pretty balanced plan, 32 attempts passing versus 34 rushing attempts, pretty balanced by LSU. And of course, you look at the Tide, 137 on 30 attempts with 4.6 yards per rush. The penalties, big. Alabama had almost 10 penalties in this one, 9 penalties for 92 yards, 7 for 64 by LSU. They had the turnover, which was the interception early on that was converted into a touchdown for LSU. The time of possession, 31-58 versus 27-41. You get individual in this piece. And notice that, man, Jayden Daniels is everything. Why? And another question is this. Why isn't Jayden Daniels listed on any Heisman potentials? Why isn't he on the Heisman watch list? Bryce Young is there. We know Bryce is a good young quarterback, but why isn't Jayden Daniels on that goddamn list? They need to start talking about that this time. He was 22 of 32 for 182, averaging almost 6 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns passing in the game. And guess what? Jayden Daniels was the top running back as well. 18 scrambles. So he did 182 through the air with 2 touchdowns, and he had 18 scrambles for 95 yards, averaged 5.3 yards per run, and had a touchdown there. So he was responsible for 3 touchdowns today for Alabama, for the LSU Tigers. Josh Williams got on his horse today and was handling the business. Good to see some of LSU other runners get involved. Josh Williams was running his ass off. He had several key blocks in the matchup, 7 carries for 54 yards. When it went to him, it bared fruit, almost 8 yards per rush for Josh Williams. He had a touchdown. And John Emery Jr. got going too on plays. He had 5 rushes for 26 yards. He averaged over 5 yards per rush. So the LSU rushing attack really came in handy to keep things balanced. Receivers, Keyshawn Butte came alive. He had 7 catches for 51 yards in the matchup. And like I said, if LSU's going to thrive, they need Jayden Daniels, who's already playing on a high level, the running attack to help out, and Keyshawn Butte, which is their best wide receiver, to step up and get involved. And they got him involved in this game. Also, Malik Neighbors had several key catches in the matchup, 6 catches for 49 yards. He averaged over 8 yards per catch. And a big day by Mason Taylor, 3 huge catches. Two of the 3 was very huge in the matchup. 36 yards. He had the touchdown grab by young Mason Taylor, son of you know who, former Miami defensive end Jason Taylor. And he showed up in this one, man. Had a big game for them, 3 for 36 in the score. And had he did his thing out there. And if you look at the defense, man, LSU's defense, man, they were breaming all. They just was the pressure. Shout out to defensive coordinator Matt House of the Fighting Tigers, man. He had a really good game plan to kind of fluster Bryce Young, and he flustered them throughout the first half. And then Young ultimately was able to try to make several plays in the game. And the one where he scrambled around and found the guy up the field for a touchdown, that was amazing. And it just shows how really good that kid is. But listen, in this one, 51 attempts trying to throw the ball, 25 completions for 328, 6.4 on the throw, a touchdown in the pick that went for it. That was converted into a touchdown. Jeremy Gibbs, 15 scrambles for 99 yards or carries for 99 yards. He averaged 6.6, but nobody else really stinking like that. McClellan had 4 for 17 in the rushing attack. And it just came down to the last team with the ball, man, and gutsy move. And shout out to Brian Kelly. That you won't talk about a ballsy move, man. When 21 seconds, I think it was left in the fourth quarter, I'm sitting up here looking like, why didn't you try to at least get up the field, make a play, maybe get in field goal range, end it that way? But what he did was he kneeled on it. Alabama got it. They went up and scored. LSU got it. They went up and scored. And then he did one of the gutsiest plays or calls of the season when he said, listen, we going for it. We gonna go on. We gonna go for this thing, and we gonna take this and kick this team up out of here. We gonna show and see if they really want it. And LSU went up in there and they got that 2-point conversion, man, to end the game. So you talking about heart and soul, how these teams played, man. I just this was a really solid win by the Tigers. Ja'Cory Brooks was their top catcher, 7 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown, 8 catches for Gibbs for 64 yards in the matchup. So 32-31. This is big. Number 10th ranked Tigers knock off the 6th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. That should propel the Tigers up into possibly, I'm looking anywhere between 7 to 5 with the jumbling of the rankings. We know that Tennessee lost to Georgia today. And of course, we know Clemson lost too. Clemson lost, or I think they were losing, but I think they lost as well. So, and then of course, Ohio State didn't have a big win against Northwestern. I think it was 21-7. So tomorrow we'll see. Well, actually Sunday night, I think Monday or whenever they release the rankings, we'll see them situated. But we'll probably see LSU. I'm thinking could get as high as 5, but anywhere between 5 and 7. I'm thinking. So, man, listen, what a hell of a performance by them Tigers, man. Shout out to the fam, man. This is great. And Kevin, you're right, man. The recruiting class coming next year is going to be fire too, man. And listen, this was an impressive win, man. We stopped the nemesis. We stunned Alabama and go for it. A ballsy call to get Nick Saban out of here. And all I can hear ringing in my head when they were lining up for that was against Nick Saban, was what Coach Kelly was saying is, I came here to beat Nick Saban. That's what he was saying. I came here to beat him, and he beat him. This could possibly potentially put Alabama's championship aspirations in jeopardy, losing this late in the season to the Tigers. So this does put LSU in the driver's seats, family. It really does. It puts them square in the driver's seat in the SEC West. If you take a look at the standings, and there you go, the East and the West, Georgia is 6-0 after knocking off Tennessee. That was their top team right there, and that probably been what they were worried about. But with the win there, it drops Alabama to 7-2. Ole Miss, and I think it does eliminate them from a national championship calling, because they dropped to 7-2 in conference. 4-2 in conference, 7-2 overall, and Ole Miss slides just up ahead of them, 8-1, as you can see right there to your right. And the LSU's beating Ole Miss and Alabama. So we're in the driver's seat, man. And I know we got a lot of people out there in the Tiger Nation really surprised by this, man. Shout out to the Tigers, man. This was wonderful, man. This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I don't know what to say. This was a terrific night of college football for LSU. They handled the business. They conquer and knock off Alabama this year. And more than likely, that's going to kibosh any championship aspirations. So that's a double gut punch for the Crimson Tide, for them to lose this matchup. And of course, LSU also beat Ole Miss very handily 2 weeks ago. So, man, and I don't want to oversell our team, but really the team moving forward, they have gotten a lot better. The offensive line looked kind of rickety at first, but they found themselves. You can see they ingratiated to the scheme. You can see our running game has arrived with Williams and others coming along, and really the offensive weapons of Mason Taylor and Keyshawn Butte, Malik Neighbors and Thomas and rest of these guys are all coming online. So, and just at the right time, as certain clubs seem to be falling to the wayside, but really tonight wasn't about Bryce Young as they were beefing him up. It was Jayden Daniels. So if there's any sense of fairness in the Heisman Trophy consideration, Jayden Daniels should be on that list. He should be on that list, how he's played. He's been absolutely amazing for LSU this season. A lot of what has happened and a lot of the successes behind Jayden Daniels is how he's been playing. I mean, seriously, it's how he's been playing. Look at his numbers, family, on the year. 18-12 is what he has there. He has 12 touchdowns and against 1 interception and a rating of almost 80%. That's 15th in the nation. So he has some solid statistics here, man. And really, that's just his passing stats. If you look at his rushing stats, it's even more impressive, to be honest with you, what he's been doing with his arm and with his feet. Now, tonight, he's responsible for 3 touchdowns to help aid in the win. So, man, all I see, man, is LSU is online and they looking really good. The secondary is did a really fantastic job. And another little sticking point to Alabama, who's seen Eli Ricks out there getting toasted and giving up penalties and shit. So we stuck it to him too on the day. So Eli Ricks did what Eli Ricks did when he was here, make a bunch of damn mistakes, and it helped us out in several key moments in the matchup. So, and we just had more heart than them, man. Alabama thought they was going to roll in here and walk out with a win. And LSU says, nah, partner, it's prime time. You don't know who we are. We're going to play hard, and every punch you throw, we're going to match you. And that's exactly what they did. So congratulations to our Tigers, man, as we keep it moving forward. Let's take a look, family, before we dart out. Let's take a look at the top 25 today, as LSU is definitely going to be probably the biggest, I guess they're going to call it a shocker, that LSU beat Alabama, even though LSU was ranked 10th and Alabama was 6th. I guess we didn't have much of a chance against their beloved Alabama club. Sorry for them. And, of course, let's take a look at some of these other things here. As the USC, 9th-ranked USC is handling, beating California 13-7 right now. UCLA 14-10 in the first over Arizona State. The North Carolina State team was 22nd in the nation against the 21st ranked Wake Forest. They got that dub 30-21. You can see Georgia knocking off the number 1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers 27-13 in Athens. That was a real tough game for Tennessee, man. They got all the smoke. Ohio State barely beat Northwestern 21-7. Clemson got knocked off by Notre Dame 35-14. That's probably a big shocker right there. That Notre Dame beat Clemson, man, in the matchup. Michigan blew out Rutgers 52-17. TCU 34-24 over Texas Tech. Oregon led by Bo Nix. How about Bo Nix, man? 49-10 over Colorado, their bad team. Number 24th ranked Texas beat 13th ranked Kansas State 34-17. Utah over Arizona 45-20. Penn State blast Indiana 45-14. Michigan gets the win over 16th ranked Illinois 23-15. North Carolina beats the Virginia squad, the Cavaliers, 31-28. Oklahoma State loses to Kansas 37-16. And how about them Green Wave, man? The Green Wave gets their 5th straight win. They take down Tulsa 27-13, and they're top ranked there. And of course, the next team they play next week will be the USF team. That more than likely will be for the conference's championship. Well, it'll set it up as such, and look like they're going to end up winning that thing if they keep doing this. Syracuse lost to Pittsburgh 19-9. Syracuse is 20th ranked. In Memphis, they fall to UCF 35-28, who's 25th ranked, and that'll be the matchup Tulane has next week against Central Florida. So that'll be something to watch out for. So that's the top 25, man. And as you know, LSU, man, is it's made a statement win with Brian Kelly here, man. I'm loving what we're doing as we take down the Crimson Tide 32-31. So with that being said, fam, I'm going to dart out on that. I appreciate you guys joining me for the post-game episode of the Tough Tiger Talk watch stream, man. What a fantastic win. Awesome win by LSU. As they shocked the nation, man, in a big fashion, man, and well earned, man. It was a really solid matchup. So with that being said, I'm gonna pop out on that. Much love to the fam. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share Tough Tiger Talk on your social media feed. With that, I'm out. Go Tigers.